Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Morena in Japan. Today I'm going to be talking about the racism that I've experienced at my Japanese university from undergraduate all the way to grad school in chronological order. As you guys know, I've been in university for quite some time now. I did my undergraduate degree here, the full 4 years. I moved here in September of 2017, and it is now November of 2023. That means I've dealt with quite a bit of racism at university from my peers, from the students, from the professors, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to be going in chronological order from undergraduate degree to graduate school. So starting off, I remember in the very first month that I was in Japan, we went to orientation and I was meeting all of these students and I was like, okay, clearly I'm the only Black American person here. There were other students from Africa, which was fine. We all became friends, but I was the only Black, I guess you could say, girl at this university in my first year. Obviously, I met other Black women along the way, maybe about 2 or 3. But other than that, I was the only one in my grade who was a Black American. And obviously, like, we're in a Japanese university, I wasn't expecting like so much diversity, but we had so many international students from other Asian countries. So there was this student from Hong Kong who came up to me and he speaks fluent English and he said, "Wow, I've never met a Black before." And I was so confused why he just called me a Black. So I was asking people like, why did he call me a Black? And everyone was saying that I was being too hostile because English isn't his first language, but he was speaking English pretty fluently. So I was very confused about that. And I continued to hang out with this person like in groups, and we'd go on walks and stuff, and he would say, "Oh, I really love racist jokes." And I'm like, "Okay, about your own race?" He's like, "No, I really laugh because I feel like Black people do not have fathers." And he started making jokes about fatherless Black people. So it was very confusing to me as to why I was the one that was being targeted, and no one said absolutely anything to stop this except for me to say, "Hey, I'm really uncomfortable." And when I'm uncomfortable, I just like start tearing up. Like I get so angry that I cry. I'm not the type of person that'll raise my voice or like throw hands, especially because I'm in Japan and I can't throw hands, otherwise I'm just gonna get fucking arrested. So I was just like, "Why are you saying these things?" And he would just like laugh it off. So there was that. And there was this other time where I was invited to this party. They rented an Airbnb, like all like the, I guess, undergrads. They rented an Airbnb. There's like, what, like 15 people there. And I show up and everyone's super drunk. And this student who's from San Diego, actually like where I'm from, he's super drunk and he looks at me, like he says the N-word. He's just like, "Haha, nigga." And I'm just like, whoa, whoa, what the fuck? I'm like, aren't you like, I don't, he looked ethnic, but he wasn't Black. And I was like, whoa, like, well, where the fuck did that come from? He's like, I could say nigga because I have curly hair. And he had like fucking 2B, 2B curls on his head. I was like, hey, yo, why is this fucking happening to me? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then outside of like, because this all happened outside of school, but in the classroom, I remember specifically there was this Korean student that raised his hand and asked why there's a Black History Month and how there's no need for a Black History Month and why isn't there an Asian History Month? And I'm like, there literally is an Asian American, like there's several history months. It's not just Black people that have their fucking month. And nobody fucking called him out on it, not even the professor. Like, they didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, why are you allowing this in your fucking school? And it's just like, why is everything up to me? Why do I have to be the one that corrects everybody? Because you're just gonna allow this. Like, everyone just allowed this to happen. And I'm the only person who feels uncomfortable because nobody else gives a fuck. They are not Black. They will never know what it's like to live in a Black body. But you are teaching like American culture. You're teaching things about Black America and you're not correcting anybody. So they can just say this bigoted shit and nothing happens. And not only that, but as you guys know, I was the one that organized the Black Lives Matter Osaka protest. Like literally 2,000 people showed up. There was news outlets. It was crazy. But before that, when we were organizing, I shared the march into this group chat of all the underclassmen that I created this group chat and I shared the march. I was like, you know, I've dealt with a lot of racism at school, and I think that you guys should share this like march that I'm doing, because people are out here like fucking dying in the US. Like, people are literally getting fucking murdered still. And the backlash that I got, it was just like, well, why should we show up to this march? Like, that's an American problem. I don't have to deal with that. And I'm like, you guys called me the N-word at school. And then what, like a week passes and they all show up to the march and they're like, wow, I felt so empowered. And they post their little fucking pictures on Instagram as well as their black squares to feel so fucking proud of themselves. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I got called a fucking nigga in that group chat. And then I told the faculty, I was like, listen, I'm literally like fucking getting harassed in my own group chat. And I told the professors, and then we had a whole meeting. They're like, well, who is it? And I had receipts, I had screenshots, I had everything. And they're just like, okay, we're gonna do something about it. They didn't do jack shit. They didn't do anything. I just like, I literally just had to deal with that for the rest of the undergraduate. And I finally graduated. I had a racist ass fucking professor. I submitted my thesis, my undergraduate like research project, and I got a fucking C. She gave me a C because she said I didn't sound like a scholar. And I presented the same exact research to my graduate program. They thought it was excellent and they gave me 100% full ride to this fucking graduate program because they thought that the research was excellent. So what the fuck does that say about this white professor who has told the class, who proudly told the class, yes, I lived in gentrified New York. She said that her family lives in a black neighborhood and they took the home from a black family. And she said that so proudly in class, like that was just something just to say, and no one said anything because it's just like, what do you say to that? It was so fucking strange to say that. And for her to tell me that I don't sound like a fucking scholar and to still pass me anyways and to congratulate me at my fucking ceremony, like, who the fuck do you think you are? It's just fucking nonsense. Not only that, to move on to grad school, it was my very first like day, and I show up and the professor calls me colored. She's like, I told her about my research, my thesis for my graduate degree is about Japanese perceptions of black culture. So I expressed this to her. She's asking everybody what their thesis is about. I explained mine. She's like, wow, yes, it's very interesting. I see a lot of colored people on TV nowadays. And you're a colored person. And I'm just like, what the fuck do you say to that? So I emailed her after class. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable taking your class if you're going to be calling me colored. She's a Japanese professor. And she emailed back and she said that that's what they were taught in the 90s and how she was in LA in the 90s. And that's just what you called black people. And I am from San Diego. I know I was born in 1999, but fuck, I don't think they called people colored for decades prior to that. Like, you just call them like African American or fucking black. You don't call people colored. And it was just ridiculous. And even just recently, I'm taking my African diaspora class that is being taught by a white French man. And everybody in the class was reading the word nigger from 12 Years a Slave. Everybody's just saying the word nigger. And then they turn to me and they're like, oh, is this okay to say? And I'm like, actually, I feel very uncomfortable. And the fucking professor looks at me and he says, oh, it's easy to get away with saying nigger in Japan rather than the US, right? What the fuck do you say to that? I don't know what to say to that. So that's just the shit that I have to deal with on a fucking daily basis with these fucking people. And it's draining and exhausting. But no, I don't want to leave Japan. No, I don't want to move anywhere else. If you want to donate $10,000 for me to move countries, then go ahead and do that shit. But allow me to fucking complain about the shit that I have to deal with. Otherwise, this is a very beautiful country that I enjoy living in. But it's just the fucking bigoted people that I have to fucking deal with here on a daily basis in an academic setting. It's very draining. Obviously, I love my friends here. I love the people that I've met along the way. I love how fucking cheap it is to fucking live here. But academically, it's fucking terrible. It's cool because I get like a flexible schedule and shit. But other than that, what I'm learning is not ideal. It's draining. I am the only black person in my graduate program. I'm probably the only American in my graduate program. Everyone else is from China, Korea, Vietnam, or just Japanese. And it's just me. And I know I shouldn't be complaining about that shit because obviously we're in Japan, right? But fuck, at least get educated. I shouldn't be the only person that knows what the fuck is going on here. So yeah, that's really all I really wanted to talk about. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have a very nice day. Please subscribe, comment, leave a fucking like, I don't know, do whatever you want. I just wanted to vent for a second, but yeah. Stay tuned for the next video. I think I know what my next video is gonna be, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.